On behalf of Eric Queen, who's the owner of New Bern Live, we would like to extend a really warm welcome to the 2025 City of New Bern Alderman Forum. This forum was made possible by WCTI TV 12, our moderator Brian North, and of course, Smoke and the Flame. We can't do anything without Smoke, can we?
No.
God bless him for hosting this wonderful event. This forum is being streamed live by both WCTI and New Bern Live. So welcome to our audience that is not seated here with us tonight, but out there. We're glad you could join us. Thank you so much to all of these people who made this available for our citizens. At this time, I do want to announce our candidates, welcome them, and then lay down a few ground rules. One of our, he's a candidate, but not really a candidate, but I do want to recognize him, and that is current Alderman Bobby Astor, seated in the back of the room. Bobby, we're glad you're here tonight. Alderman Astor is uncontested, and that is why he is not up here tonight. So I did want to recognize him, that he's here, and let everybody know. So we do have a few ground rules, candidates and audience, if you'll please pay attention. The candidates are seated in alphabetical order as they will be on the ballot for each ward. And questioning will be left to right, right to left, and in between. So we're not going to let somebody take the brunt every time. Also, to candidates, will you please stand when it's your turn to answer? You'll have a microphone that you'll pass to one another, but you must put it very close to your mouth. Otherwise, the people on the live stream cannot hear you. So stand, microphone close to your mouth. All candidates were invited. 2 of our candidates did not respond, and 1 candidate said they had a scheduling conflict. Their signs are on the table over there. All responses will be limited to 1 minute, each due to our time frame of 1 hour. If there's extra time, our moderator will ask an additional question. Dee Taylor, in the back, raise your hand, Dee. She's the host of Parent Talk. She will be tonight's timer. She will hold a red card up at 10 seconds left to your 1 minute, and she will hold it up until your time is up. At that point, please end your response. When she pulls the card down, it's time for you to sit down. We ask the supporters of the candidates and others in the audience to please refrain from making comments during the forum. All candidates will be available, I'm sure, at the end of this forum for any additional questions and or comments you may have for them. Please remember that these candidates stood up and they signed up to have a chance to represent you. Please give them the respect of listening to what they have to say and then make an informed decision before voting. We live in a great city and it deserves great leadership. Now it's time to introduce our moderator. Brian North has worked at WCTI since September of 1998. He was hired as the sports director and added news anchor to his duties in January of 2008. Brian's married to Jennifer. They have 2 daughters who he's trying to make them be professional golfers as part of his retirement plan.
Not going so well.
Brian says it's the people of Eastern North Carolina that makes this place so special, and he enjoys listening to their stories and then telling those stories to you. He also has a passion for getting news and information to people when they need it the most. His goal is to always be fair and maybe have a little fun along the way. And he's just a gem, and I'm so glad that he's ours right here at New Bern. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Brian North.
All right, thank you so much, Sabrina. I appreciate that. Thank you. Very excited to do this. This is a fun evening, and I want the candidates to know that this is what I do every day. When you get that paddle raised in the back and be told to rap, that's, you got plenty of time. Don't worry about it. Sometimes we go over a second or 2. It's okay. Now, if I start doing the vigorous rap or something, then you've got to wrap this thing up. But just relax, relax, breathe. I know a lot of you are nervous. This is just your opportunity to give your side of the story, introduce yourself to the prospective voters out there, and let them know why you could be the best person to represent them. New Bern's unique in that it has the ward system. Very few places have the ward system where you get to vote for the people who represent your personal area. Only a few places, Rocky Mount, Durham, I think Hickory's another one. So this is a really unique process that we have here that we hope you guys enjoy. So we're going to start by letting the candidates introduce themselves. And we are going to start, let's see here, left to right. So that would be on that side down there. Do you have your microphone ready to go?
Ready.
All right. Now listen, when you hand off the microphone, I don't need any of this West Craven New Bern coach stuff. Now be gentle with the microphone and hand it off gently. All right, go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Elena Huber. I'm running for Ward 1 Alderman. I'm excited to be here tonight thanks to New Bern Live and the Flame. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm a proud 22-year Navy veteran. I retired from the Navy in 2021 at the rank of commander. And throughout that time, I've met my husband, Mike Huber, who is a retired Marine, and we have 5 children. And we've lived off and on in this area since 2004, decided to make New Bern our home at that time. But what I want to tell you about me in this quick minute is that the perspective that a veteran can bring to civic leadership is invaluable. I have led diverse teams through deployments, mass casualties, natural disasters, and COVID-19 pandemic. And what I can do for New Bern, and with bureaucracies and things that we have to deal with, I'm ready to work for you and work hard. Thank you.
My name is Bernard White. I'm running for the first ward. I was born and raised here in New Bern. I retired from Cherry Point after 32 years. I've been over many organizations by being president of those organizations. I am now married for 53 years, with 4 kids, all college grads. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of whatever I've done in New Bern to help New Bern to be a better place. I'm more concerned about kids and senior citizens. And I think infrastructure is something that really beats me down. Thanks again.
Good evening. My name is Sharon Bryant. I am a native New Bernian. I have 3 children. I am a born, starched New Bernian. I love to work hard. The reason I'm running for Ward 2 is I can show you what I can do. I have created programs here in New Bern for Tryon Palace over 25 years, which I just retired, and I thought I was going to rest, but when I saw this opportunity to come up to serve this community, I decided to put in my vote to do this. I serve beside several mayors. I serve beside several aldermen. I love the seniors in this area, and I will work hard for you if you only vote for me, Sharon Bryant.
Boy, I should tall up here. Good evening, everybody. My name is Debbie Seymour, and I'm running for Alderman of Ward 2. I was born and raised right here in New Bern. I graduated from New Bern High School and attended the University of North Carolina, where I earned a degree in psychology. I earned my ADN associate degree in nursing from Craven Community College. I served as a Head Start family service worker. I retired from Craven County Schools as a school nurse. I am a lifelong member of the AME Zion Church and a 50-plus year member of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc. I have 1 son and 3 grandchildren who I affectionately refer to as my heartbeats. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Nadie Buchanan. I am running for Ward 4 Alderman. A little bit about myself. I was born on Cherry Point and have spent most of my life in Eastern North Carolina. 7 years ago, I made a decision to come to New Bern. I should have done it sooner, y'all. Let me tell you a little bit about my work history. For over 20 years, I worked for Coastal Community Action. I started out at the bottom as a receptionist and worked my way up to the housing director for our Housing Choice Voucher Program until a little over 3 years ago when I was given a wonderful opportunity to work here as a property manager serving a low-income senior and disabled community in the heart of Ward 4. I'm a proud member of New Beginnings Celebration, serving as the administrative assistant. I also am active in several organizations in the community and in the state, such as Frederick Douglass of North Carolina. I look forward to this opportunity to engage with you this night. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Lainey White, and I'm also running for Alderman in Ward 4. I recently graduated from UNC Pembroke with a master's degree in social work, so I really care about people as well as policy. I ran for the Board of Education during my last semester in college, and it was amazing to be engaged in the process and to learn more about New Bern and how to serve you all. So my work experience has so much to do with mental health. I've been an educator. It's all about meeting people where they're at and figuring out how we can work together to solve our common problems. So I will bring my spirit of collaboration, my broad experience in working with big groups of people, and I cannot wait to serve you in Ward 4.
Good evening. I want to tell you all a quick little story from the heart. I'll tell you about a little apartment on Queen Street. That apartment was the first home of a first-generation American who had to flee their country because of communists and cartels. This city gave us an opportunity. This city, you people here in the audience, gave us the opportunity to have the greatest title this country can give, an American. You let us fulfill the American dream. Now, our community needs someone who can step up to the plate and lead, not from behind, but lead the charge. To be there when our community needs it and ahead of time. Not to be a reactive leader, but a proactive leader. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight for this forum, which will be a great discussion. My name is Manny Ruiz. I'm running for Ward 5, and I have the honor of a lifetime to serve you as your alderman.
Hey y'all, my name is Nat McKellar-Crosby. I am your choice for Alderman in Ward 6. I was a state leader with the White House in their Office of Political Strategy and Outreach. I was appointed by a governor to sit on a state commission as well. I ran a Chamber of Commerce for 5 years, ran a youth center for about the same amount of time. And so I want to bring that experience to the Board of Aldermen. I found New Bern through my father. He moved here about 7 years ago. I officially moved here about 3 years ago. And so I would love the opportunity to represent you all. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me New Bern Live. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Well, good evening. I'm Dana Outlaw. Moved to New Bern my freshman year of high school. Left long enough to get a degree over at East Carolina, Marketing Research and Business Administration. Got back just as quick as I could. Was hardly not here on the weekend because of all the beautiful natural resources we have. And so, been involved in many ways in government, but not in government until I ran and was elected an alderman and then was a mayor. I want to continue to offer the research that I've already empirically have together about all the geographic infrastructure of our city and all the public safety and the other things. I want to help the next board, and I want to, at this time, wish everybody well in their race, and whoever wins these elections, they have my full support. Let's continue to move the ball forward for this city. That's what other aldermen have done in the past. They've handed it off to new ones, and we're going to continue as a city, holistically, to move and process information and do the right thing to keep this city where we need it, on the move. And you know how proud everybody is in New Bern. Thank you.
get to tonight, look, everybody likes their money, no one likes to pay taxes, but taxes are how things get done. On the ballot for this election, there will be 3 proposals to approve bonds, one each for parks and recreation, stormwater, and streets and sidewalks. These are all for infrastructure and maintenance improvements within the city, but it comes at a little bit of a cost when it comes to property taxes. There would be a slight increase, about 3 cents, I believe, on the 100, something like that. So it would affect those when it comes to property values. I'd like for each of the candidates to take 1 minute to tell the public where you stand on these bonds. Are you for, against, and why you have that stance for your prospective constituents. Dana, we'll let you lead off.
Well, thank you. I just think it's a great idea. I'd like to thank all of the leadership of the city at the present time for bringing this before the citizens so that you yourselves can make a decision. You know, I said this on a radio show earlier. In 1968, I remember my dad taking the boat down to Union Point, where everybody in New Bern, all 15,000 people, along with, you know well, Greg, all the people from Kinston and everywhere else, we all launched a boat, and we all brought a boat in at Union Point. And somebody, our mothers and fathers, Barbara, got this idea, which everybody hated, of putting launch facilities down at Lawson Creek. And I'd say 90% of what happens in New Bern happens there if you're recreationally into the boating end of it. So as our city continues to grow and need natural resources, I see the Martin Marietta as a great opportunity to expand recreational opportunities that the city's never had. And I also think the sidewalk program, if we're out and walking like the Trent Woods folks are doing, we're healthier. We need to connect our city with Trent Woods, with River Bend, all the way out to Martin Marietta, and let's get out here and start walking. I think it's a great idea.
So I am not in favor of the bonds. It is my belief that the current bond market is the most volatile that it's been in over 100 years. We're currently seeing 5% on the bond market for 20-year loans. This is what this loan would be. And the safe harbor rate is at 5.3%. So we're already starting to hit the height of that. And market makers are saying that we should expect about 6%. So when these bonds are issued, it's going to cost us more money just to have the bonds, and that means we're going to have less dollars to put towards these projects. I think these projects are great. I think we can do better fiscally in paying for them.
I think it's an issue when it comes to fulfilling our promises. Ward 5 is one of the areas that's going to most benefit from these bond referendums. We were promised by our city a new park, Martin Marietta Park, which would become the essential hub for our community. It has not been delivered. There is work, but there is work to be done. I'm in favor of this bond referendum, not because I like taxes. Lord knows I hate them. Lord knows I hate them. I know it's going to make it harder for some people to make ends meet. But we can balance it out in other areas. Because it's about fulfilling our promise to the people. We promise you we would deliver, and I fully promise you that if voted in, I plan to champion that project to make sure that what we promise you, you get delivered to you.
What I find to be the most important thing is that New Bern does not yet have a strategic plan. So I am in favor of the Martin Marietta Park. Our roads need to be resurfaced and overhauled and maintained. And people should not have to deal with flooding constantly, and it's not acceptable. What I wish would have happened is that some of these things could have been put into our budget, because we know that things need to be maintained, just like our cars and homes do. I also think that Martin Marietta should happen, because not just that it's going to make us healthier, but also this is going to make New Bern more attractive to more businesses and make New Bern be able to grow and thrive. And I think we all need to know that you can vote for all, some, or none. I have my opinions, but yours are more important.
I'm in support of the bond referendum for the one key factor that I think some folks sometimes do not think about, but it's putting it in the hands of each one of you. That is the most important thing about this bond referendum. We're talking about that it could potentially increase taxes by 3 cents, which yes, but ultimately it is putting in the hands of each one of you as we the people. So you can make the decision as to which one you want to vote for or which one you do not want to vote for. That is a good idea. I believe wholeheartedly in that. Now for what I will be voting for, I will privately do that at the voting poll because that is my right as a citizen of the United States as well and a citizen of New Bern. But I do support each one of you to read up on them, to study on them, and for you to decide which one works best for you. Because again, it is in your hands. Thank you.
This is what I have to say about the referendum. Knowledge is power. What I would urge you to do is there are sessions on the referendum held in different locations. Attend one, ask questions, and then decide, weigh the pros and cons, and then you make the decision after you see how it will affect you and your family and your neighborhood. Okay, thank you.
I am for the bond. One, because when that park is ready and we can bring in business here for the young people to get a job, I think that would be important for these people to stay here. Our children are leaving. Why are they leaving? Because there's nothing here to do. So we have this park here, and we put these things in this park that we say that we're going to put in, and I think this is the way to grow New Bern. We keep saying we want to grow New Bern, we want something different, we want some changes here. This is how the changes are going to come effect. Infrastructure. How many of y'all drove down here on Sept Street? How bad is that street right now? My car is in the shop right now because of Sept Street. So that's why we need those bonds here. And if you have not been to one of those sessions, please go to those sessions so you can get a better understanding. Knowledge is powerful.
I'm really straightforward with, that's the type of person I am. I'm against the bond. I have several reasons for saying I'm against the bond. I mean, I don't like people to come and bring issues to the city of New Bern, and then they don't stay here after the issues are already taken place. We're going to be responsible for that bond issue maybe for 20 years. If they say one thing, it turn out to be another. That same, we haven't passed the bond here since they built New Bern High. And the only reason they built that because they told us they were going to do something else, that they were going to name New Bern High just the fields. And when they got it built, they took the sign, put the sign on New Bern High, put the field on Rosie on the other field. Now I've been in this area since I was 18 years old. There's a lot of stuff I've seen, a lot of stuff I agree with. I don't agree with taxes, because taxes are going to hurt a lot of people, especially most of us just right on the borderline, okay? And then for renting and having houses and doing what you can do, it just don't seem to work out right. For some reason, it seems like I really talk about it in the shortest time on the book.
So I, as a Laney Huber New Bern citizen, I support the bonds. We already, as New Bernians, have the lowest tax rate on our houses east of the 95 corridor. You can look at places like Kinston, Havelock, Morehead City. They're paying much more than we are. We have to, and even across the river in Bridgeton, they're paying more money than us. This is a 2.75% or 2.75 cent increase on the $100 to maintain our streets, which desperately need it, our stormwater, which desperately need it, and to increase our parks, like some of my fellow candidates about here say that it's vitally important important to keep our children safe and keep them here and not go into Jacksonville and Greenville for those type of things. We need to maintain our city just like we need to maintain our homes and our cars. It's important, and I do support it. But you have that right to vote, and I support that even more. Thank you.
Thank you, Candace. And just to clarify, those bonds will be on the ballot for you to vote on. The alderman will be able to vote as voters, right? So then they'll have to discover what they're going to do when we figure out what the vote's going to be. So, voters, you decide on the bonds. All right. We're going to take the mic, and we're going to start now in Ward 4. If you can pass that down, you guys can do rock, paper, scissors if you want to see which candidate from Ward 4 goes first. We're trying to shake it up here and make sure everybody has a chance to be a part and the finish of these discussions. All right, transparency, one of the big buzzwords we have in politics right now, right? Everybody wants transparency. Transparency is, aldermen make about, what, $11,000 a year if elected, something like that. That's transparency. Transparency is talking about the discussions about why you want to have something happen where you stand. So transparency, one of those buzzwords in politics, many of you stated in your platforms that you want to be transparent in City Hall. Please take 1 minute to explain what you believe is not transparent in city government right now and how your transparency could change that.
Ooh, that's a tough question, Brian.
That's what I'm here for.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Well, I think, first of all, I think we do have a very good transparent board that right now. One thing I will say that I have heard in specific to Ward 4 is accessibility to aldermen. There are certain aldermen that it's very hard to get them to return phone calls, to return emails. I think that that is innately important, and the responsibility of anyone that is an elected official. You are being voted in by your citizens, the constituents. You need to make sure that you are accessible for them, and what does that look like for each one of us is different. For me, I plan on every month to give at least 2 hours of free time to meet me for a cup of coffee, wherever you want to meet, to let's have a conversation, because I know sometimes you can't make it to the public forum. But come, sit down, talk with me, let's hang out, and let's get to the root of what concerns you. Thank you.
As somebody who also lives in Ward 4, I can attest to the difficulty in being engaged with by the current alderman. I think that one of the problems in transparency that I can see is what is motivating certain decisions. I am of the belief that what should be motivating my decisions is what you guys need. And I have doubts in my current ward that the citizens are at the heart of the decision making. And I learned from my last run that office hours at a coffee shop are really great. So I'm already planning to have office hours at the donut shop down there by Good Lion. I think once a month, right before the meetings, and also just quarterly engagement. Thank you.
All right, let's pass to Ward 6. We'll do Ward 6 next.
6? Okay.
So I think that the citizens of New Bern deserve better transparency. In regards to our electric utility, there's been a lot of decisions made that the citizens are just not aware of. Most folks do not know that our current utilities department is sitting at about 30 days cash on hand, when the industry standard is 200 and the minimum should be 90. Right, exactly. And so that's something that we are not aware of as a city, and that is a resource of our city, because our utility actually pays for about half of our finance department, half of our city manager's department. And if we don't have a fiscally sound utility, then us, the citizens, are going to have to produce more money to cover those costs. Now, we have enough time to correct ship, but I think the citizens deserve to know what's happening. You know, as well as development. There's been a lot of recent information changes about how development is done. It's now going through the Development Services Department instead of through planning and zoning. So when we don't have access to public meetings or minutes, that just makes it harder for us to know what's going on in our city.
Thank you. The best thing I can say about this subject is better educational opportunities for the citizens to know the process of a memo of understanding, the process of the discovery phase of a Trader Joe's wanting to come to New Bern or not come to New Bern, the opportunity for citizen input, public hearings, the process. I think a lot of times, when you get elected, you got so many things going on, you kind of lose sight of the possibility that the citizenry do not know totally the process. And I would recommend from this discussion that we do a better job through our PEG channel, through Facebook, of the process. Sometimes the process doesn't look transparent. A lot of things are confidential in government. Personnel, property, the Stanley White, part of that was real estate acquisition. That is not something that can be, it's a closed session, I'm sorry. So again, work on the process of the education of the public of how that happens.
All right, thank you, Dana. You can pass the mic down. Let's do Ward 1 next, and we'll pass the mic. If you saw the Facebook post that I did today, it was interesting to see the comments of the questions that people wanted to ask and how much education there needs to be when it comes to what our aldermen get to do as far as politicians. So always encouraging people to learn more about the process. I'm learning every day about it. Elena?
Thank you. I've been all around the world in the military and been to many different cities and counties and countries, and I can tell you New Bern has got to be one of the most transparent places I've seen. We've got so many media outlets. We've got New Bern Live that has their podcasts. We've got, you can see, what new businesses are coming. Just go to Brian North's page. He knows before the ink's even dry on the lease what new business is coming here. There's plenty of places that we can go to. And so, but yes, there are a few that we have issues with. And I think that is, like some of my, colleagues up here have said, is that being accessible to aldermen. And I think it's important that they are accessible to you. And one thing that I'd like to do is create those civic hubs where we can within our wards and make it across the board where we will meet with our citizens, let them shape policy and let them know how they want their city run. And that's extremely important. And thank you.
I think dealing with the city of New Bern, we have worked pretty good. We used to have town meetings, town sections once a month, that gave each ward a chance to express their opinion to the aldermen that was there and try to get some things done. The second thing, and that was something I think I pushed hard on. The other thing was that when you call one alderman, he should answer the phone, he should talk to you. I have no problem with that. But when you call alderman of another ward about an issue that you have, sometimes the alderman that's really over that ward, connected to that ward, doesn't really appreciate that. You need to talk to that alderman, and then they can work it out. And then the other alderman that you did talk to that wasn't from that ward can work along with them, and you can iron the issues. The other thing that we do quite a few things. I don't want to do the phone.
Go ahead. You earned it, Bernard. Go ahead.
Look, I'm about the oldest thing up here. Can't be talking so fast. but when you do what you're doing, and they're talking about the youth, and talking about the sidewalks, and mentioning all that sidewalks, that was my deal. Okay, I was an alderman twice, but they haven't finished. You got to go through a lot of changes, and some of you people will not come down there. You will not express your opinions. You will not say what you want to do. This doesn't work out for me. You're gonna see more of me than you've seen in a long time. But going down there don't mean the issue gonna be solved. Okay, that's like a former mayor said. There's a lot of things goes on, and it takes time for that. Now, money that we're talking about, we were doing it once. We don't need that. We don't need that bond.
I will pass the mic down to Manny, and then we'll do Ward 2 last.
I'm a teacher, so let me give you a teaching example. If you don't turn in your homework, what will go in the gradebook as? A 0. My student knows, because he knows the rules for my classroom. Right now, Ward 5's alderman, or alderwoman I should say, has a 0 when it comes to transparency, because she has not even begun to deliver. She is not even present. The reason I'm the only person here for Ward 5 is because even though she was invited, she did not attend. How can we expect transparency when you will not even be visible? It begins with showing up for our community. It begins with being visible in our community. So look, I've already promised to have quarterly listening sessions, monthly office hours, and I understand y'all have busy schedules. So guess what? I'm gonna go meet you on Facebook. I plan to do at least a monthly video recapping the entire city meeting in about 1 minute. I might go over 1 minute, I might go 2, but I'm gonna make sure you have the tools, that way you are informed, because you have a right to be informed, and you have the right to have an alderman who will be transparent and be visible in our community.
All right, we're going to jump to Ward 2. Transparency.
So I believe transparency is very important. What we have to remember is that our leaders work for us. You know, you don't work for the leaders. And one of the things that I am really passionate about is making you aware, keeping you in the know of what's going on in your government, and making you feel included, because it is your government, and you deserve that. Thank you.
So I see they say the best for last. Transparency. If I recall, I've been here, a native in New Bern all my life, and I have served. Some of y'all have seen me throughout Trine Palace for 25 years. You have seen me on the Redevelopment Commission. You have seen me with Juneteenth. You have seen me with the Bank of Arts as the president. So transparency for me is being out there. I'm not one of them that you can't call, you can't talk to you. You can call me anytime. I'm always in those streets. I serve these streets. I believe in the people here, and I believe in community and talking to people, and so people can talk to you to find out what issue is going on in your city. Come talk to me anytime. 252-675-7306. Give me a call.
Sharon, you're on a roll, so stay standing. Sharon, stay standing. You're on a roll. We'll start this next question with you. Let's keep that fire going. All right, each ward, and you mentioned your ward is Ward 2, which for anybody who doesn't know, it's north of Broad Street, 70 MLK interchange, at South 70 near the Pembroke area. That's your ward. Each ward has its own individual issues within the particular ward you're running. What are the issues in your ward that you want to address that you think have not been handled in the past?
For Ward 2, is housing. We need affordable houses. Not only for our young people that want to stay here, they can't afford it. For our seniors, as everything is going up, they can't afford it. So houses is what we really need. I remember as a little girl living in Duffyfield. Duffyfield had so many houses. We can run from street to street, and the neighbors there, you know, they chastised you, right? Because you couldn't say anything or do anything bad. So I was a good little girl. My grandmother didn't play, she owned business. So, if we had houses here, maybe our young people will stay. Maybe we'll have more jobs for them to stay. Maybe we will have things for them to do. So housing is very important for me.
Okay. Aging infrastructure is just one critical issue that needs addressing. I'm sure many of you remember a few weeks ago during that really heavy and severe downpour we had. And that was an example of aging and decaying infrastructure. All that flooding, and actually I was out in that, trying to attend the conference. And it was kind of scary, actually, because all the water, and that is an indication of one of the things that we have to address in this city. I mean, some people's yards, they're like an ocean when it rains. That's not good. The streets, the ditches. So we're gonna have to do something about that, because we do deserve better. And I pledge to be at the table to make sure my community gets its equal share of whatever funds and resources are available to address these issues. Thank you.
We'll go to Manny next. Mary Louise is representing Ward 5, which is basically north of Deuce Boulevard, West New Bern, that area. You talked about Martin Marietta Park. What is the major things that you want to address in Ward 5 specifically?
An additional part of Ward 5 that you didn't mention, there's actually a lot of Duffy Field is part of Ward 5. Duffy Field reserves someone who's going to step up and be a voice for them, because they haven't had that in 8 years of our current alderwoman. Woodrow is a community that has been forgotten. I talk to those people in Woodrow, and they say, we have never seen our alderwoman, we have never had anything come out in our way. Where is our leadership in our community? We've heard a lot about young people coming into our community, trying to keep them. If you want young people here, you need to have young families that will have young kids. I'm in the district that has the most working families in them. It is all our new arrivals, people who are moving in from around the world to come to this town, because this town can become home to so many people. Ladies and gentlemen, housing is an incredibly important issue. Martin Marietta Park is an incredibly important issue. All of these are incredibly important, but it starts with showing up. If we cannot show up and deliver, we can't even start on day one.
All right, let's pass the mic down to Bernard. He is the former alderman for Ward 5, now up for the candidacy of Ward 1, which is historic downtown New Bern area, for those of you trying to get your bearings straight. All right, Bernard, what do you think is the major issues with historic downtown and Ward 1?
The main issue, Ward 1 used to be part of Ward 5 when I was in charge. The main problems over there, to me, was the infrastructure, the ground, the drain, the water. When people would flush their commodes and stuff, they had problems with the water going down the slope. Some people have changed theirs out, and some people haven't. Every now and then, the man will come through there and do something to it. But that's a major problem. I always thought we maybe get some grant money, some money to just go down the street and change it. But only certain people have been able to get those pipes changed. You know, other than that, the infrastructure all over New Bern in certain areas are bad. Back in Woodrow, I used to go to Woodrow maybe 3 times a month or 4 times a month. They would call me. My line stayed open, and my wife will tell you this. My line stayed open just like it did football season. Whenever a little kid or somebody had a problem, they could call my house anytime of night, call me. And I'm gonna see what I can do about it. Now, I didn't get into personal business, but for those kids, I did anything I could do for them. That's the main thing that I see different in New Bern, the infrastructures. And if we could do those and bring in high-tech jobs to New Bern, either they don't want factories, you know. But we bring those, so we're looking forward to when your kids graduate from high school and they go to college, they may come back home. They're not coming back here when they're used to seeing places with better jobs, or high-tech jobs, and making good money. Nobody around here paying anything good for low-paying, working, dragging people.
So my priorities that I started at my campaign haven't changed a whole lot. They've grown talking to people, and one of those has been championing small businesses in Ward 1. With that, in developing entrepreneurs down there that want to come in and start those small businesses, that will create jobs. And one of that is going to do a snowball effect, and it will. One thing that we do even have a problem with in Ward 1 is not only affordable but sustainable housing. It should not take a year of fighting a board to be able to put a roof or windows in your home. It should not. We need to fix that. But also we have areas such as Trent Court, the Wall Bellamy area. Those need attention. They need attention, and I'm so for to moving in some of the plans that are in effect of multi-income housing in that area. Give those builders and developers incentives to come in and develop those areas, fix them up, and give those people the neighborhoods that they deserve. Thank you.
All right, we'll pass the mic down to Ward 6. Ward 6, for those of you who don't know, that is Glen Burnie, south of 70, Mall area, 17, MLK, that area. Biggest issue's been they haven't had an alderman, I guess, is the issue there. But Nat, what's something that you want to fix there?
So infrastructure and growth are really important in Ward 6. In Greenbrier, we need about $400K a year to replace our electricity lines. In neighborhoods from Cypress Shores down Trent Creek Road to College Park, we're flooded. And so if the current bond were $14 million just for stormwater drainage, I'd be in support of that, because then you could put $10 million towards the electrical grid that the utilities requested for that in a revenue bond. I would be in support of that. But because we're only issuing $6 million for stormwater drainage, that's not going to fix our problems, right? We're supposed to spread $6 million throughout New Bern, and all of Ward 6 floods. So I think the biggest issue that we have is infrastructure and growth, because we're already looking at more neighborhoods being built, more houses coming to Ward 6, and we don't have the infrastructure to support it. Our electric grid and our stormwater drainage is just not up to par at this time, and we do not have a serious enough plan in order to address it. And so as Alderman in Ward 6, I will work with the rest of the board to create that plan and to execute that plan for Ward 6 and for the city.
I want to kind of approach this a little bit different. What's bad in the first ward or the third ward is not good for the sixth ward. And the most important thing, Barbara Lee and Victor J. Taylor, is that Barbara Lee and Victor J. and their previous boards, if you didn't have a relationship with your other alderman when you had a problem, you might get your problem fixed, you might not. Now right here in New Bern, Travis, I think this month, S.T. Wooten and Barris are going to pave Martin Luther King Boulevard. Is that correct? Starting at 70, demarcation, they're going to go that way. And we got 7th Street sitting here, and the condition is in. Do you remember Deuce Boulevard looking like that? Yes. Okay, so the priority situation, the relationship between different board members, the relationship your elected officials have with state representatives, state senators, federal level, etc., reimbursements, paving, bringing that money to New Bern instead of it going somewhere else. My time's up. Hey, I would like to just say, I would love when all of us have more time where we can really let it hang out, to really get into these things y'all asking us questions about that we're trying to answer in 1 minute.
Okay. All right, I haven't heard from Ward 4 in a while, so let's pass the mic to Ward 4. That's Glen Burnie Road, north of 70 to News Boulevard. So what would you like to change in Ward 4?
A lot of the people that I talk to are talking about safety on the roads in particular. We have tight spaces, small roads where people park on both sides of the roads. There's several safety issues have come up about that, and people asking about connectivity and being able to ride their bikes here, there, and everywhere, and it's very limited in certain places, and as well as transportation issues I don't know if you guys know this, but there is a survey online that you can talk about transportation issues in your particular area. I know the county's trying to expand it, and that's very important. For many, many people, transportation is a barrier. So that is my time, and so I'm gonna give it to Nadine.
To echo Laney, I've heard from citizens of Ward 4 as well that there are some areas, the speeding through some of the neighborhoods seem to be a hot button topic for them. And I have some viable solutions that I would love to bring to the board. I agree with Mr. Outlaw, as he said, about the relationship building, because what is important in Ward 1 is also important in Ward 6 and Ward 4. The other thing that I've heard from is there are individuals, we have a lot of seniors that do not have transportation that need to get from point A to point B, and they have to cross high traffic pedestrian crosswalks. They're concerned about the safety there. They have mobility issues. They're in walkers, and we have those motorized scooters and sometimes wheelchairs. And so they're looking for solutions as to how, when they go across the street to Food Lion or to Walmart, how they can do it safely and not be so concerned with the cars speeding by. So those are the things that I am looking forward to talking to other aldermen soon. Thank you.
Well, thank you, guys. You want to try a bonus question, or do you want to get right to the wrap? All right, we're going to do a bonus question, but now we're going to tighten the time a little bit. We're going to do more 30 to 45 seconds, so we can still get in your. And this can be easy now. This won't take a long time, I promise. All right, we'll keep it right there with Ward 4, and then we'll pass it to the right here. Have you had any experience in any form of government prior to running for this election? And if not, what life experiences qualify you for the position? If you have had experience in government, why do you think that's beneficial to you?
So I have not had experience in government. However, my current position as a property manager, I maintain and oversee a 76 apartment community, a little city, if you will, because I have to manage a budget, I have to manage a community center, I have to manage a fitness center, a laundromat, a maintenance department. I also have to do community events and provide a national night out separate from the ones that are done in the city. So in essence, I am doing a mayor's job, a city manager's job, and an alderman's job already on a small scale, a city within the city of New Bern. Thank you.
I was in the Air Force National Guard, so I have worked in the government. Currently I work for the Department of Social Services, and I'm very familiar with the way that things work very slowly in government. But I was also an executive director of a nonprofit here in New Bern, so I am familiar with the way boards work, and relationship building is so important. You can get so many things done just by having a good relationship with people around you.
All right, Manny, we'll go to Manny next.
So I think it's important that Ward 5 gets someone who's new, a fresher face, and an outsider. So I don't have elected experience in politics. But I've had what many of you have, which is volunteering, door knocking, talking to people. I've had the privilege of managing a couple of campaigns at the lower level, actually getting into the nitty-gritty of talking to voters and actually delivering on those promises, which I've greatly enjoyed. Additional to that, as a teacher, I teach civics. So believe me, if you need someone who's going to know all the breakdown of every single department, ask your civic teacher, and I'm here to answer.
All right, let's go to Ward 6, where we already know a lot of experience. All of them have the platform one more time.
As a former state leader with the White House and a former appointed government official, I would like to bring that experience to New Bern. I have helped craft legislation in order to retool the Small Business Administration. I have a great passion for supporting entrepreneurs and small businesses. I've helped craft legislation around supporting working families with affordable child care and paid leave for all. I believe this experience will lend greatly to being alderman in Ward 6.
Well, I've been in government like 17 years. So.
That's all he had to say.
Let's go to Ward 2 next. Thank you for being concise, Dana. We appreciate it.
When I first graduated from the University of North Carolina, I moved to Washington, D.C., and I did work in government, actually. And even since then, every position, professional position that I've held has involved public service, which I think is important and qualifies me to serve people, because that's what I have done basically all of my life. Even positions in my even they told me to take my time. So even, you know, in my faith-based house of worship, public service is what we do. People is who we serve, and that's what I want to do, and I will do. Thank you.
You can thank Dana for that extra time there.
Well, I was actually looking at Bernard.
Okay. Yes, I have served in government. 25 years for the state, 22 years for the county library. I served every day. I started on Juneteenth. I started John Canoe. I started the USCT. You can name everything that I've done. Most of the time, if I'm in my car and riding down the street and somebody says, hey, can you give me a ride? I'll give you a ride. Community service for young people is my passion, and also older people. Right, Barbara Lee? Barbara Lee got sick, and she had to go to UNC Chapel Hill. I took her every other day, her husband, to make sure he got to see her. And if that's not perfect service, I want to find somebody that don't know how to do it.
You can take the Dana Outlaw way out of this if you want, but that's whatever you want.
I'm gonna try to make this quick, okay? I've been in this area since I was 18, I tell everybody. I've been coming to City Hall, battling back there with the old timers. There's certain things that happen that just automatically come to me. I left there, I went in service. When I went in service, I come out. I was in charge when I went in service. I don't know why. I left a basic #1, got flat home for it. All I have in my house is honors and plaques and things that I earned. And I think the military was the most fairest place that I ever been. Okay. I played sports, I got trophy for that. That's playing. That's something I love to do. But when we started working, and I wound up being in charge of our hangar, or in charge of a cleaning detail, which what they did, script planes. And I was told I always got somebody on my side. But I did it all. Like everything, I got a sheet here. I was president, vice president, everything. I came home, did the same thing.
I served in the federal government for 22 years as a naval officer. During that time, I worked on Capitol Hill as a special advisor to the Navy Surgeon General, as well as a Commandant of the Marine Corps. Spent many times working with policy, legislation, writing instruction, handling multi-million dollar budgets, and with that, yes, I do feel like that brings that experience to civic leadership, and I'm here to work again for the city of New Bern with that experience. Thank you.
All right, thank you, candidates. You guys have all been impressive tonight, and I think New Bern will be honored to have any of you serving on the Alderman. And election's coming up October 7th. Early voting starts September 18th. So I'm going to give you guys one last minute, because I got to get home. I'm responsible for putting the demon child to bed tonight, so I'm going to be home like 8 o'clock at 8 o'clock sharp. So, Lena, we'll start with you, and you can just wrap up 1 minute. your campaign stump of why you should be the Alderman-elect of Ward 1.
Again, my name is Elena Huber. I have had a long, distinguished career, and I completed that career. I've raised my family. I've got 100% of my time to give to the city of New Bern. I live downtown on Pollock Street, 207 Pollock Street, and I am in the heart of the city, but I'm also, I feel like, in the heart of New Bern, which is the whole of Eastern North Carolina. I want to be here for you. I want to listen. I want to be a leader that listens. I want to represent all of you, and I want to work hard. And I know that working hard means surrounding yourself with leaders that work hard, and that's what I plan to do. You'll see me, and you'll have accessibility to me. Thank you.
I work hard for the people, okay? Anybody in office, they need to realize that you're there to serve the people. That's what I do. We talked about, someone talked about bicycles, or I one got the road widened, Oaks Road and all the rest of them. We talked about sidewalks, I started that thing on the sidewalks. I wanted you to be able to walk all over the whole New Bern, but I wasn't gonna do Trent Woods, okay? But other than that, I just appreciate your support, appreciate you coming, and I'm not a changer. What you see right now is the way I am most of the time. I'll be this way if it get tough. Don't worry about it.
I am not even in the seat as an alderman. Let me just tell you this. No matter what it is that the city of New Bern doing, I'm always on call. I have gotten calls already from Craven Terrace. I've gotten calls from Water Street, which is right down the street from here. So if anytime somebody needs me to do something, you can call on me. That's why I know I will be the perfect person for Ward 2. I'm one of those quiet persons, but I guarantee you that I will get that job done. So if you vote for Sharon C. Bryan for Ward 2, see you at the polls.
First of all, I'd like to thank the sponsors of this forum, and I'd also like to thank all of you for being here tonight. I'd like to leave you with 3 things. The first one, I ask you for your vote, and I promise to handle it with care. The second thing is, if you can, donate to my campaign. And the third is, I want you to repeat my slogan with me, and it goes like this. Together we win. Will you say it with me? Together we win. One more time. Together we win.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Brian North. He's done a phenomenal job tonight. Don't you guys agree? And then thank you to New Bern Live and to Smoke for hosting this fabulous video, as always. I look at it this way. This is very short and sweet. We call this an election, but really, you guys are employers. You are hiring us for a job. Tonight was a job interview. So I hope that on October 7th, you hire me for Ward 4 Alderman. Thank you.
So in all the service work that I've done, I have come to understand that when people are connected, they thrive. I'm a connector. I want New Bern to stay beautiful, protected, and connected. I have the agenda of putting forth your agenda. So if you want somebody who cares about you, please vote for me.
I'm going to pick up on that story I gave you at the start. That lady who came to this country with nothing but what she had on her back now sits in this audience as a homeowner, as someone who's going to college again, as someone who's able to educate people. That person is my mother. It is thanks to you folks, the city of New Bern, who gave us this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, we need someone who will fight for us, not when it's convenient, but every single day. We cannot deal with 8 more years of what we have in Ward 5. We must do better. We must do better than best.
I have
support of local communities. I have strengthened small businesses. I have helped working families. And so as Alderman in Ward 6, I'm going to continue my career doing just that. I want to uplift our local community. I want to invest in us. We have gone too long without proper investment in this city, and I take issue with that greatly. And so when I am elected as Alderman in Ward 6, I will make sure to invest not only in Ward 6, but to invest in the people of New Bern. And I promise you that. Thank you.
Thank you all that came out, that you're concerned about city government, the future of your city, that you're here tonight. And I want to pledge my support to the board that will be elected in the ensuing couple of months. I want a couple things to be mentioned tonight that I wouldn't necessarily want to belabor the point, but it's back to the process. It's about the amount of time needed to explain some of the topics came up tonight. I would just say my priorities are continuing to be first responders, support of our fire department, our police department, the fiscal responsibility with local government commission of our city to have proper fund balances. Again, it's been noted tonight how low our taxes are, and this is a great opportunity, just like the town of Trent Woods recently. They got off of sewer debt, and they've done a lot of great things like recreational and sidewalks. Move your city forward. Vote for that bond. It is the future of your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, to continue to nurture and love this city.
Let me take a moment to just say thank you to all the candidates. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm a learner. I love to learn. I've learned so much about the candidates tonight, learned about the issues. Every day that you learn is a good day. And I've also learned that it's people turning out and being involved in politics is what makes it happen, right? We talk about transparency. The transparent when you guys are involved as well, whether you're up here trying to get votes or whether you're there holding people accountable. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this process. One of the big people who's responsible for all of this and is really involved in politics is Sabrina Bengal. I'm going to let her wrap things up here tonight for you guys. And thank you again, and we'll see you at the polls, and good luck to everybody in the upcoming election.
Brian, thank you. Give him another round of applause. It's really happening tonight. And it's not easy to be up here. That's why I'm here and not there. So a lot of kudos to the candidates. I want to thank you again for stepping up and agreeing to be here tonight. But I want to thank all of those in the audience who took time out of their personal schedules to come here and to listen and to educate themselves. To the people at home viewing it, thank you for taking the time to watch this evening, and please share it, and let's educate people. Let's really get the information out there. I want to let you know that it's important that you make informed decisions. One of the things I get asked all the time is, my address is in New Bern. I live in New Bern, and I live on Broad Creek, but my address is New Bern. How come I can't vote? Because you can't. Okay? The issue is you must reside within our city limits, and this is for all our viewers. You must reside in the city limits, and it must be your residence. If you own a business in the city of New Bern, or you own commercial property and you don't reside, you cannot vote. So if you're curious as to are you in the city limits, you can go to newbernnc.gov. When you get there, go to the Alderman page, and you'll see a tab that says Interactive Wards. And you can click on that, and it'll have a map of the city, and you can click on the area you live in, and it'll tell you what ward you're in, who your representative is, and it'll give you an idea. Now, I want to remind everybody, early voting will start on Thursday, September the 18th, but early voting is going to take place at our beautiful new Stanley White Recreation Center. So voting will be there, not downtown at the Board of Elections where it usually is. It will be there. City of New Bern is the only place that has elections in this coming cycle. So we're the only ones out there. Stanley White starts on the 18th, 2 weeks of early voting. Election day then is Tuesday, October the 7th, and you must go to your polling place. So find that out as well, so you'll know where to go and vote on voting day. Also, I'd like to just make you aware there is a mayor's forum, so you'll get to see the 4 mayoral candidates. That's going to be on Wednesday, September 17th, 6 p.m. at Oranger Hall at Craven Community College. Hopefully, it's going to be hosted by the New Bern Chamber of Commerce. Hopefully, you can get out there or view it. It'll be live streamed, and again, make informed decisions. I can't tell you how important it is. Visit the websites of these people. They've left their information out there. If you so choose, take a sign, contact them, offer to volunteer to knock doors, offer to make phone calls, offer to sit at the polls. It is not easy putting yourself out there. I've done 2 mayoral campaigns, 2 aldermen, 3 alderman campaigns, and it is not easy. So I respect every single one of you. I know you have the respect of this audience because you put yourself out there. I say God bless and Godspeed, and thank you all for being here tonight.
One quick question, is it going to be a drive-up? I've had an older person ask, they want to vote, but they don't want to get out of their car.
Yes, by law they have to, so there'll be something set up. The Board of Elections will run the operation at Stanley White. They're just moving it there so that they don't have to take over the county government building. So yes, everything that's you've had in one location, you will have to be open. Thank you again, everybody. Safe travels home. And we'll see you at the polls. Please get out and vote.
Go and vote.
Okay. I was like, did I miss something on Thursday? What's going on?
Ladies, congratulations on getting this far.
Thank you.